What is up, everybody? Steve Daria here. Today I'm going to show you why exactly I think over 400,000 real estate agents will be going out of business over the next several years based on some charts and some data that I have. And also I'm going to talk about what this means if you guys are a home buyer, a home seller, an investor, or if you're a real estate agent, and how to avoid going out of business. So just a quick story. Back in around 2009, I get a phone call from a real estate agent, and it's an agent that we did some transactions in the past, and she calls me up and she goes, "Steve, are you guys hiring real estate agents?" And if you watched any of our other videos, my sister and I, we opened up our real estate brokerage in 2006. We had the goal of just staying small, just my sister, myself, an office manager, maybe a couple buyers agents, and we really did not intend on bringing a bunch of agents on or recruiting agents, so we kind of fell into this. So this agent calls me up and says, basically that she needed to get onto a broker as quickly as possible. And I was like, how quickly? And she literally was like, within the hour, I need to meet you as quickly as possible. So anyway, needless to say, I meet up with her and she tells me kind of a horrific story, but basically she shows up at her real estate office and there are chains around the door. She had no idea what to think. She called the office, all the office lines were down. She called her real estate broker and he would not call back, and to this date, I don't think she ever received a phone call back. Now, this was at a time when the real estate market obviously was crashing, and a lot of real estate agents didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do in their real estate business. They didn't know really how to pivot or how to change. And really, we saw opportunity at this point in time because we knew we had to help a lot of real estate agents based on the education and the training that we received to go after certain sectors like short sales, listing foreclosures, broker price opinions, building our property management division in order to really just not necessarily survive, but also thrive. So needless to say, we brought her on, and we brought on a lot of other real estate agents whose brokers closed their doors as well. So at that point in time, not only did we see a decline in real estate agents, we saw a decline in real estate offices as well. Now you're going to see, based on this data that I'm going to show you on my laptop here, there's a direct correlation for real estate, basically real estate sales and even values of real estate, and a direct correlation with when do real estate agents get into the real estate market. Now you would think that when the real estate market goes down, that's a prime opportunity for real estate agents to get into the market, because that is a ripe opportunity for real estate investors and people to buy lower based on valuation. But that's really not the case. A lot of real estate agents get into the business when the market is going up, up, up. And I think a lot of that is based on media. You know, we have a lot of media out there that you can read article after article after article for the last several years in terms of how hot the real estate market is. And to me, and based on my analysis, I think it was just, everything was just manipulated, especially with COVID happening. Everything was just manipulated to basically dry out our inventory. Now, people, real estate agents and everybody else, they're looking at the real estate market and how hot it is, and now is the opportune time to get into the market, right? But that just is not the case. When the real estate market is going up, a lot of times it's very easy to sell real estate. A lot of times it's like taking orders. And I've been through the last real estate recession, the ups and downs, the peaks and valleys. And when the real estate market's going up, it's really not difficult to sell real estate. When it goes down is when it's challenging and when a lot of real estate agents go out of business. Now, what I want to show you here on my laptop is, this is National Association of Realtors directly from their website. You guys can pull it up. I'll put a link in the description for you guys as well. But it goes all the way back to 1908 and exactly how many members they had. It started with 1,646 members, a total of 20 associations. Now, keep in mind too, to get your real estate license, you are a sales associate until you sign up with the real estate board, is when you become a realtor. So this does not take in consideration licensed real estate agents who are not associated with the real estate board, but this takes in consideration majority of real estate agents who sell residential real estate on an ongoing basis. Now, if you look, it goes from the early 1900s all the way to present day 2020. Now, I wanted to put this into my own spreadsheet because I wanted to get a chart associated with this as well so we can see a direct correlation with what's going on with the amount of real estate agents coming into the business and going out of the business. So now we're going to jump over to this chart. It's the historical median home value. And I kind of want to show you how this is a direct correlation with the other chart that we're going to show you in terms of real estate agents coming in and out of the business. So from here we can see 1978, kind of 1978 to 1980, the peak of the real estate market back when. Back then, basically the real estate agents that were in business was about 761,000 real estate agents. And now when it dropped, and we'll go back to this chart over here, when it dropped down, now this is a chart showing real estate agents going out of business right here. Now at this point it dropped down to 617,000, which is basically close to a 20% decline of real estate agents going out of business. Now let's go ahead and jump into the 1989, 1990s peak where we had, you can see the ups and downs here, the real estate valuation of properties, and you can see how it dropped down in the early 90s. And if we jump back over here, early 90s as well. So we had basically, we had 822,000 licensed realtors, and when it dropped down to pretty much, I'd say around 94-ish, it went down to 716,000, which was a 13% decline, which was not a huge crash at that point in time for our real estate market. Now, fast forward to 2005. Let's go ahead and jump back to this chart. We got the 2005, 6, 7 peak. As you can see, values were extremely high and then just dropped off the cliff here. And if we go back to this chart, you got basically the decline in real estate agents. Now, this point in time, the height was 1,338,000 real estate agents, and at the bottom right here, we're showing 900, just under a million real estate agents, which is basically about 338,000 real estate agents went out of business in the last real estate recession, and that equated to about 25%. And now, as you can see from this graph, it's jumped back up, and as previously mentioned, real estate agents get into the business when the market's going up. Now, there are many factors that are associated with where our real estate market's going to go, micro and macro, so nobody has a crystal ball where they're going to go, but I think eventually they will go down, in my opinion. And if we jump back to where we're at today, you know, you got to ask yourself a question. Are we peaked out? Are we very high on values? Is housing not affordable any longer? And, you know, if we jump back to here, are we going to see a sharp decline? Are we going to see, you know, basically an evolving decline over time in terms of real estate agents going out of business? I don't know, but looking at historical data and the graphs that I showed you, I can see that maybe the writing is on the wall for a real estate decline. And, you know, we are peaked out in 2020 with almost 1.5 million real estate agents. And this is why I think that if we do have, you know, a 20, 25, maybe even 30% decline in real estate agents, it's going to be, you know, maybe well over 400,000 real estate agents that go out of business. So what does this mean for a buyer? You know, you're looking at today's real estate market. It might be high for you. Real estate interest rates are still very low. I would only buy a property if I'm going to stay in a property for a long period of time, or have basically I know I'm going to hold that property for a long period of time and lock in a good 15 or 30 year fully amortized loan at a really good rate. If you're a seller, I mean, you can see what's going on. I'm selling certain properties myself right now to cash out. And if you're an investor, maybe it's not the ideal time to be investing in real estate because you got to run the numbers, and if the numbers don't work, you might be hard pressed to find anything that's going to really put cash in your pocket every month. Now, if you're a real estate agent, I do have a webinar that I dropped down below, and basically that's going to talk about the market that we'll go into if our market does start to shift or even crash, and basically 4 niche markets that you can go after in terms of building your real estate business in a declining market. And that's going after listing foreclosures, that's going after listing short sales, helping people avoid foreclosures, that's going after the BPO, broker price assignments, and also property management leasing, where you can create residual income for yourself and have an opportune time to help tenants buy properties and also help landlords basically develop and build their portfolio. So a lot of that information is in that free webinar that you guys can check out below. And I appreciate you guys being with me here today. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think real estate agents are going to be going out of business in the near future or over the next several years? I want to hear what your thoughts are. I appreciate you being here. Thanks a lot.